Torah Life Ministries come out of the world. Messiah people seek the truth.
Hello everybody, it's Paul Neeson with Torah Life Ministries, and this is this week's Coming Torah Portia. We're up to reading number 11 already. This is 11 weeks we've been doing this, the Torah Portia each week, and this week we'll be reading Genesis 44:18 to 47:27. And this week it continues with the story of Joseph when he reveals himself to his brothers, and he couldn't bear to keep the secret from them any longer. And he says to his brothers in Genesis 45:4, I am Joseph your brother, whom you sold into Egypt. But don't be sad that you sold me into slavery here or angry at yourselves, because it was our Elohim who sent me here ahead of you to preserve life. Our wonderful Creator did this. It was His plan. Now, this is an amazing lesson we need to learn. You know, we teach about health at the Real Life Health Show. You know, anger, bitterness, fear, all of these Joseph had a right to have, but he didn't. He didn't hold bitterness and anger toward his brothers. He loved them, he forgave them, and forgiveness is one of the key components when it comes to health and not getting sick or not getting to disease. So he goes on to say, and he understands that our wonderful Creator has a plan. He goes on to say here in Genesis 45:8, so it was not you who sent me here or sentenced me to be here in Egypt. It was the greater plan of our wonderful Creator, and that's why I ended up here. And Joseph was an incredible man who showed how much faith he had consistently and always, and he stuck to that. And he warned his brothers. He warned them in this week's reading not to quarrel among themselves when they were traveling, because he understood the importance of stress and how stress, worry, fear, and quarreling and all these things, they're not for a higher health, for a higher life, for a higher goals, or to glorify a wonderful Creator. To glorify Him, we have to understand and experience the peace and the joy that comes along with the blessings by having faith in Him. And understanding that emunah, that knows that everything that happens for a reason, but not just a reason, His reason, because He has a plan for us. So when people say everything happens for a reason, well, the reason is His reason if we let it happen and follow His plan. You know, so, Joseph was so excited to see his father and to learn his father was still alive. So his brothers went back and told, his father, Jacob, that Joseph was alive, and then the reunion, and it was just an amazing plan. And Joseph was waiting for them to come back. As he spoke to Pharaoh, he said, I want them to have the best land of Egypt. And the Pharaoh agreed. So they were going to give him this land called Goshen, which was the greatest land for the cattle in Egypt, for the people of Israel to thrive. Now, this led to a later issue because they thrived so much. They were outdoing the Egyptians in everything, and they were much more wealthy, and they were much more blessed than the Egyptians. So we'll see later on with Moses how this led to an issue. But for at least now, Joseph's plan, or the plan of our wonderful Creator through Joseph, was coming through wonderfully, and the Israelites got this wonderful land where they were to thrive. And it all because they stuck to His plan. You didn't have Jacob saying, well, maybe we'll go somewhere else because this, or he feared that. He listened. He obeyed. And you had Joseph knowing where that land was, picking that land out for the Israelites to come and to prosper. And we all have that opportunity right now. We all have our Josephs out there who know the land, who know the way that we can all be blessed and prosper. And we're trying to let everyone else know. And that is the way of Messiah. And, some people are listening and they're following and they're being blessed. And others are giving us their reasons why they can't follow, why they can't do these things. And this is creating the big problem. But we also look at Joseph and something special he did. He understood that hard times were coming ahead. So he saved, let's say, an emergency fund. He saved a lot of his wealth. He didn't just splurge it all. He saved it for the bad times that were coming. You know how they say, save for a rainy day? Well, he didn't just do this with his money. He did this wisely with his food, with his seed bank. And this is something I recommend people do, is they save their seeds wisely and they save food for the future, whether it's a short-term future of seeds that they need to get for short-term food they need to have, or longer term. We need to plan our meals, our food, and everything we do wisely. And this isn't happening today. People today is first come, first serve, all you can eat, and all I want, and I want more, and all this. Never being satisfied, and that's the real disease found in the scripture. That's why we're uncomfortable, because we're never satisfied with what he gave us. And that's why we run into an issue usually. Well, everybody, it doesn't have to be that way. He has a plan, as it says in the scriptures. It says, I know the plans I have for you. They are for good and not disaster, to give you a future and give you a hope. To give you a future and give you a hope. How many of you want to do something with that future and hope? How many of you want to experience the blessings that come along with following our Creator? Well, I recommend you start off by reading the Torah each week. That's the first 5 books of the scriptures, and continuously reading the rest of the book as well, all of the books in the Bible, and you'll be blessed. Turn off those TVs and spend more time reading the scriptures, and you'll see how it's just amazing how things will just explode in your life. There are some things that are revealed to us and some things are hidden, but when you're reading the scriptures and studying them on a regular day, you know, it says, if you focus on a regular basis on unholy things, he will keep holy things from you. However, if you start focusing on the holy things, like his Torah, he will reveal those holy things to you. And when you start looking at the scriptures and reading them every day, it's like those 3D pictures. You know, you're looking at it, but you don't see a picture, but all of a sudden, a 3D image comes. And that's how it is reading the scripture, at least for me it is. So he reveals these things to us. You know, and that's his plan to do so, but he wants us to take an action and be obedient, so he has a reason to reveal these things to us. So that's this week's Torah portion, everybody. I definitely, next week, check it out. It continues with the story here of Joseph. Until then, everybody, if you have any comments or questions, post them below the video. Have a great Shabbat, and we'll see you again soon here on Torah Life Ministries. Shalom, shalom.
Torah Life Ministries come out of the world. Messiah people seek the truth.